what we're doing today. Contouring. We're contouring today. What's up, party people? Finally, I know. It's been a long time coming. By a long time, I mean like 2 months, because that's about as long as I've been doing YouTube. So, you know, it's like forever. Alright, you know what? These are just coming off. I tried. I like taking pictures with them, but I don't know how people wear eyelashes every day. Maybe I just need to get used to it. Maybe gluing them on helps. I don't know, but for the sake of the video, sometimes I just plop them right on there, but let's keep it real. There are a lot of different ways you can contour. So you can do non-touring, which is just like you don't use any contouring powders, you do it with highlighter. You can use liquids to contour. You can use powders. You can use creams. You can get all up in that nonsense and contour your face. And let me just talk to you about my plan that I have for the next like month or two. Gonna get a couple of different people to come and record with me. That way you guys aren't constantly looking at my face, my eyes. I mean, majority of this YouTube channel will probably be stuff on me. But I want to throw some other things into the mix, especially with the holidays coming up and New Year's and all these great looks that, you know, maybe my eyes can handle certain colors that somebody with smaller eyes can't. And that's why I did that eyeshadow tutorial last week. If you didn't see it, it's a 3D smoky eye. Check it out. It's great for all different eye shapes. But I don't want to leave anybody out. And so I want to make sure that I get people different eyebrows, okay? Different eye shapes. I want to get different face shapes so I can show you guys a way that they should contour. I want to get my mom in here. No offense, Mom, but you're a little bit older than me, so I know you have different needs than what I would want. Like, I don't think that you want to glow to the gods. Well, you might. If you do, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, Mom. Well, it's my mom. She's older than me, so I want to do makeup not on just people my age, but some people at different age groups, different skin needs, everything, to show you guys that we're not a one-trick pony here. We can do it all. I just want to show you guys how to do it on someone else's face besides myself. So we're starting off with my face. So if you have a round, oval face, more oval than round, then this will be a great contouring video for you. If you have a different face shape, still watch this video because I'm going to show you 2 different ways to contour your face with liquids and creams, and then I'm going to do powder contour on top. So you get technically 3 ways to contour, but 2 different kind of techniques, I guess, is what I'm saying. This side is contour underneath my foundation. This side, which is my left, your right, is contouring on top of my foundation. And then I'll go in with powders and show you guys how to do that. Keep in mind that just because I'm using a product does not mean that you have to run out and get it. There are so many great products out there. This is just what I like to use as far as creams and liquids go. I'll link it down below just to save some time, and then you can kind of make your judgment off that. I decided to use creams today. Don't really have a reason why, I just felt like it, so we're using it. Now, if you're like me and you were not blessed with some natural contours on your face, you gotta create some. So starting off with the jaw, we wanna go from the top of the ear to the corner of your mouth, but you wanna stop that line where the middle of your eye is. You don't wanna go too far in. You can if you want, but they're really more like guidelines anyways. Rule of thumb for your forehead is if it's larger than 3 fingers tall, then you wanna go in and shade the part that's not the 3 fingers, if that makes sense. But I still like to add some onto my forehead to add warmth, since I'm adding so much contour to the rest of my face. Then I also went ahead and carved out my jaw because I don't really have a whole lot of definition there. It's up to you whether you want to use a beauty blender or a brush. This is a really stiff brush I got from the Lorac contour palette. I like to use it for creams and liquids to kind of blend in. The trick here is to push it where you just placed it. You don't want to move it around a whole lot. You just kind of want to blur out those lines. But the nice thing about doing it underneath is you really don't have to focus on blending it too much because the foundation is going to do a lot of it for you. Now I'm going with a beauty blender and just kind of softening it just a little bit. I don't want it to be too harsh. I'm not really sure why these colors look so orange on my camera, because in person they're really not that orange. And if they are that orange in person, somebody tell me, but I know they're not. So just kind of ignore that. I don't know what my camera's doing. Then we want to place foundation all over our face. I'm using Elcie Cosmetics in Warm Ivory mixed with L'Oreal True Match Lumi in W2. I'm usually the color Sand and Porcelain mixed together in Elcie Cosmetics, but I ran out, so we're just making do with what we got. I love this foundation, and if you're looking for a cheaper version, I will say the True Match Lumi is very comparable, but I am ride or die for Elcie. It's great for matte skin, it's great for dry skin, and it just looks flawless. Oh, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. I'm placing it right over the contour, and that's why it's okay if you're a little bit messy, because you just place the foundation right on top and it all blends together so nicely. Wash, rinse, repeat, guys. We're repeating the same steps that we did on the other side. We're just placing it on top of our foundation this time. And I don't know if this is something that you guys noticed, but see how when I place it on my jaw, I kind of bring it up above just a little bit, so it makes my chin a little bit more defined, and I'm just kind of rubbing it back and forth. You don't want to go too far below or too far above your actual jawline, because it'll kind of look like you have a beard. As far as the cheek contour goes, what I'm doing with the Beauty Blender is I'm kind of placing it, pushing it in where I placed it, and just building it up just a little bit to create a little bit more of a hollow, and that'll kind of make my face look a little bit longer. So before we place any powders on our face, I want to go in with a concealer and a little bit of a highlighter is kind of what I use it as, but I just like to conceal under my eyes, on my chin, on my nose, and a little bit on my forehead, and that'll also where I'm placing it on my face. You want to keep it more in the center. You don't want to go too far out, because that'll make your face look wider. So we are making our face look longer here. One of my favorite setting powders is the NYX HD Banana Powder, and then this is the brush by Bdellium Tools number 962. I wish I could speak correctly, but I can't, so just bear with me, you guys. You're going to place it all over your face, on top of your contour, but don't go crazy. You don't want to look like a cake. Using that same brush, I'm going in with the Lorac Contour Kit in the lightest shade first. I go in with the lightest shade and go over all of my contouring that I just did, and then I'll go in with a little bit of a darker shade to kind of carve out my cheekbones. So you're going to want to kind of go right along it, kind of move it in an oval motion like I'm showing here, and just kind of blend it all together. Now, depending on the type of nose contouring you want will depend on the type of brush that you use. If you want something a little bit more defined, go in with a smaller, more dense brush. If you want to just blend it all together, go in with that same brush that we were just using for our face. And I really hate to do this to you guys, but I'm going to be creating another video on nose contouring because there are so many different noses out there. I really want to give you the correct information, so we're sticking to just the face today. After all that jazz, we're going to go in and add that medium contour shade that I was just talking about, and going right over the cheeks and just kind of swirling it around just to make sure our face blends together. One step further, if you want to sharpen up that cheek contour, you're going to want to go in with a translucent powder. My favorite is the RCMA translucent powder and the Ben Nye banana powder. I mix them together because the yellow adds a brightening effect to the white translucent powder, but banana powder by itself, you're going to want to have a deeper skin tone for it. Now, that step that you just saw was more for prepping my face for eyeshadow and setting, but right here is where we're going to cut that contour. Any brush or beauty blender is fine to use with this. I prefer this one because it's got a sharper edge, and you're going to go right underneath that contour just to kind of slice it. See what it's doing there? It's really defining my face, and that's also going to help set your foundation in if you want it to last all night. And please don't be an idiot like me and breathe in all that loose powder. It's so great for your lungs. Right after this step is usually when I do my eyeshadow, so I did that. I'm going to go in and add my highlighting. I did cave in and I got a fan brush, and I have to admit, whoo, it's so good. I also have a video on highlighting that I can link down below for you guys to get a more in-depth look of it if you're interested in that. Now I'm going in with my bronzer with my favorite bronzing and blush brush. This is the Bdellium Tools number 974. It's amazing, and it places it where you want it. My favorite blushes are by Mayron. I mix like 3 colors together to get the perfect shade for my face. Just light dabbles in it. It's very pigmented. Just kind of place it and swish it around. Go over my face with some Fix Plus because you know we're about to amp up that highlight with some champagne pop. Because we want to be poppin'. If you don't want to amp it up, you don't have to. But let me just tell you, you're missing out on a secret society here. If you like the way that my eyeshadow is looking up in here today, let me give you a little close-up. Head on over to Instagram at Erin Kelly Makeup. I did a little short video there for you. Hopefully I made this easy enough for you guys to figure it out. I promise you, once you practice, you're going to be like, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, get it all together as fast as you can. Thank God I'm not a rapper or a rhymer. Don't feel like you have to do all the steps that I did. I probably went a little too heavy right in here for me. I like to make my face a little bit longer, and that's what that does. As far as your forehead goes, if it's 3 fingers or if it's more than 3 fingers, just do that tiny little area above the 3 fingers. You don't need to go crazy on your forehead. If you want to, you can. So just make sure you practice different ways, because I used to think that I liked doing it underneath my foundation a little bit better, but lately I've been doing it on top because it's just a little bit quicker for me. I think the one benefit about doing it underneath your foundation is that you can be a little bit more messy. You don't have to be as precise with where you're placing it. I mean, you still want to put it in the general area, but if it's not like super blended, that's okay because the foundation will do it for you. Whereas if you're doing it on this side and you're putting it on top of your foundation, you have to do a little bit more blending and pay a little bit more attention on where you're placing it. So that's the one benefit I feel like doing it underneath. Contouring face shape #1 down. So go on out there and contour like you just ate sour candy. I will see y'all next time.